this episode, we bounce up the Queensland coast on our way to the Whitsundays, with stops in Bundaberg, 1770, Pancake Creek, Lady Musgrave, and Gladstone.
Wow, look at those flood markings on that building. That's pretty significant floods, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've literally gone for a run and a kangaroo has just crossed the road in front of me.
We just finished the cleaning. I just went down the stairs to do something and you guys called to ask me to pick you up. So I left and I remember taking the kill cord off earlier and putting it in the away. So I'd unhooked themselves and started drifting away with no kill cord. So I paddle back to the boat, tie back on and get the kill cord. And then come back.
Whoopsie. Good lesson learned, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we never let go of the boat, untie the painter until Dad has done what?
Start the engine.
Yeah. Under the lee of this point, Lieutenant James Cook landed on the 24th of May 1770. Reef the Princess, being carried to shore. I think, and who's getting off next to make it lighter so that I don't have to walk in the sand?
It's not.
Well, come on, one of you, sacrifice.
Turn around, please, the ground, not me.
Dave, I'm next.
No, you're not.
Are you sure the dinghy's going to be there when you get back?
I hope so. No help from you guys with anchoring.
What do you think of that?
It was cool. It was very cool. Yeah, I loved it.
Very passionate. Yeah, what do you guys think?
It was very interesting.
We're going to head out and do some snorkeling, freeze our toes off probably at Lady Musgrave. Actually just went into in 1770 we went to like a tourist depot that takes, it's a boat that goes out to Lady Musgrave, and the ladies in there were telling us about a resident tiger shark that likes to swim up and down the channel to go in and out, but it's really cool snorkeling there apparently. So I'm in two minds as to whether she's encouraging us to go snorkeling or warning us that there are some fairly significant hazards out at Lady Musgrave, but people are out there snorkeling all the time, so I'm sure we'll be fine. Gosh, they're long lines, aren't they?
They're really long lines. They're big, heavy lines. I mean, they look like fantastic moorings.
This is nothing like Fiji, is it? Okay, we're still early in the Lady Musgrave season and the water is freezing. The kids have decided they're going to stay in the water for at least 5 seconds.
You made
Popsicle. 5 seconds.
it. Why don't we just do it all together?
The counting doesn't start until you're all in.
Okay, 3, 2, jump, breathe. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You didn't.
We counted.
You didn't even make it.
So we saw this grey thing in the water just over there floating. So Dad went to have a look, and it's a seagull skewer. And so
Seagull skewer, is it? Is that what they're called?
Bird,
It's a bird skewer.
yeah, bird skewer.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good find.
It's like shopping, beach shopping, isn't it? They aren't pretty.
No, those eyes aren't pretty, are they? Well, it's blowing 25 to 27 knots here at Lady Musgrave, so we think we'll probably hold on for a couple more hours. Hopefully the wind will drop a bit, and then we can sail across to probably Pancake Creek, because we're having to leave a bit later because of this wind, so getting to Gladstone is not really much of an option. So Pancake Creek, which is about 35 miles away, should be 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, and we stayed yesterday so we could have a swim, didn't we? How did that go?
Kids jumped in and jumped out almost immediately. It was so cold.
So the temperature's 22 degrees and it sounds like we're being a bit soft, and quite frankly we are. We're too used to the warm Fiji water, and 22 degrees is just not cutting it. Gosh, that's not fun going through there into Lady Musgrave. It's pretty tight, and we've got over 20 knots blowing us on the beam. So I did have to kind of crab through it a little bit, but we got there in the end. But whew, it doesn't ever make you feel comfortable coming into a place like that, or coming out. You just think we're so remote, and if anything goes wrong, I mean, we've got lots of people around us who can come and help, but you can just about kiss your boat goodbye though.
The sunrise at Pancake Creek.
Morning.
Where are we off to?
Gladstone. So we're just entering the area of Gladstone, and this is where all the container ships, the tankers, coal ships, all line up out here waiting for their turn to get into the harbour.
More than 100 million tonnes of cargo with over 30 products pass through Gladstone's large port each year, making it a commercially successful industrial town. The marina is second to none, boasting modern facilities with friendly staff and service. Soon after we arrived, we were taken on an unprompted tour.
That was built through the mid-60s and commissioned in 69. She takes bauxite from Yepoon up north.
Yeah.
There's 3 ships that consistently just go up and down, bringing bauxite to feed into her process. They do a 2-week turnaround.
Yeah.
She takes bauxite from Yepoon and turns it into alumina powder. That's all she does.
So where does that powder then go?
So alumina powder is obviously the raw ingredient for aluminium.
Yep.
To make alumina powder, it takes bauxite,
Yep.
heaps of steam,
Yep.
and shitloads of caustic acid.
Okay.
It's called the Bayer process. To this day, she manufactures the highest quality and lowest cost alumina powder on the planet.
Wow.
This morning we've left Gladstone, and we're going to head up through the Gladstone Narrows, which we've heard used to be used as like a cattle pass in between Curtis Island and the mainland, and when it dries out completely, which is every day, it was used to move the cattle from one island to the other. So we have to wait until obviously high tide so that we can get the cat through. So we're just following another boat at the moment, and we're going to go up through the Narrows. Hopefully we've timed it perfectly so that we get the tide going with us up until the midway point, which is the shallowest point, and then we'll get the tide. At high tide it'll change, and then we'll get the tide pushing us back out the other side. So hopefully we've got our times right. Oh yuck, what are you?
And the tide's pulling us quite fast. I've had the engines, actually both of them in neutral for the last 15 minutes, and we're still doing 2.5 knots up the channel. I'm just allowing Liquid Insanity, which is a boat we're following, just giving them a chance to get ahead of us a little bit, and then I'll put one of the engines into gear, and we'll probably end up doing 6 or 7 knots again.
You worried we're getting there too early?
Yeah, we just done this. The current's pulling us so fast that we need to do something just to slow it down a little bit.
It's just really strange to see dolphins way up here. Up in this inland channel. Oh my goodness! Woo! Just following Liquid Insanity. They've done this trip numerous times, whereas we're novices. And Dave and I were just saying that we're, you know, if we know that the place is going to be like deep enough for us to go through. We just go, sweet, let's go. But we just quite interested at how cautiously this whole channel is being taken. It's well marked. What's the shallowest you've seen so far, honey?
2.2.
So oh wow, really?
Yeah, but the tides is a 3.5 metre tide, so it means at low tide, or the lowest astronomical tide, you've got over a metre of land. So we're going over essentially what dries out, the 1.1 metres here.
But hopefully we're going to get through safely, not get stuck, and head on up to Yepoon.
Still eager to travel further north, we stopped in Yepoon, Great Keppel Island, Middle Percy Island, and Mackay.
By the time we'd arrived at Great Keppel Island, we'd reconnected with old cruising buddies and met new cruising families, and travelling began to feel more social, which is what we'd been hoping to find as we travelled along the Queensland coast. We stayed just shy of a week, enjoying the company, scenery, walks, and the water.
Bit of motor sailing this morning, leaving Peel Bay and going to head up to the Percy's. So this morning at the Percy's, both Argo and Brave are going to lift anchor and head to Mackay. So we're really starting to make some good distance up the coast now. We've spent a good week out at the Keppel Islands, and we've been back into sort of Keppel Bay Marina, which is really close to Yepoon. And we've just slowly been chipping away at this coast towards the Whitsundays. Last night was just a quick stop off at the Percy Islands, and today we are heading into Mackay. And just because we're sailing doesn't mean the chores have to stop. We recently lost the knobs on the sides of our throttles here, so Dave has 3D printed two pieces to fit in, one to sort of fit around the outside and then the button to fit in the middle. Super handy. That 3D printer is getting some use. We finally got some speed up. We've been able to lift the main, get some head sail out instead of the Jenica, and we're just entering the Mackay kind of pilotage area really, where all of their cargo ships are anchored. This is just a section of them. There they all are. My goodness, busy port.
Foul weather followed us to Mackay Marina, but when the sun came out, we explored the shore, where we found unfamiliar signs warning of the perils of Queensland swimming.
Then we caught up with one of our favourite Australians, the lovely Michelle.
I'm going to give you all a hug now. I'll put my helmet on.
Yep.
Okay. Bye, sweetheart. Oh, I'm going to miss you all again.
Bye.
Join us next time as we spend the month of July in the Whitsunday Islands.